What's going on, guys? Your boy Fluff here. Today we're bringing you a guide on 2.5.0's LeapQuake Barb. It's a little different than it's been, and we did a guide back in 2.4.1 for silky smooth GR clearing, but we want to give you guys an updated guide because a lot has changed. And without further ado, let's get into it. But first and foremost, we're going to go into what changed real quick. The big thing to note here is now barbs have this item called the Girdle of Giants. It's a mighty belt. But what this does is Seismic Slam increases earthquake damage by 100% or up to 100% for 3 seconds. Now, Girdle of Giants isn't a new item, but it has new synergy with one of the new runes in Seismic Slam, Rumble. So now Rumble, expend all remaining fury to cause the ground to shudder after the initial shake, damaging enemies in the area for 15% weapon damage for every point of fury expended as physical over 2 seconds. So now, before, as you guys know, we would jump around, get max fury, and then we would throw a boulder. But now they're giving us another option of how to expend all your fury, which is Rumble now. So before we would run the Scholar Salvation in our Bracer slot, we would run Dread Iron in our Waste slot for the avalanche damage. But now what we want to do is we want to run Girdle of Giants for more earthquake damage. We run Bracers of Destruction in your Bracer slot for juiced up Seismic Slams. And this is just for, kind of GR 70-ish, 75 solo farming. When you push, you're going to want to run the Molten Fury to bump up that earthquake damage up to 6,000. And then swap out your Bracer of Destruction for a good pair of Ancient Parthian Defenders. But that's for the pushing build. There's a lot of options of what you can do with LeapQuake with the introduction of this new rune. So let's get into the overview of the gear real quick. On your gloves, here, there's a lot of different options you can do here too. I personally prefer Strength Fight, Crit Damage, and Crit Chance, but you could definitely drop Fight for either a cooldown reduction or area damage would be really good. But I tend to prefer a bit more tankiness, especially when we're solo farming these 70s. You don't want to die and lose your pools of reflection. On the shoulders, Strength Fight, cooldown, earthquake damage, or area damage. You can make arguments for both. They're both really good. If you're juicing up your area damage, I would definitely go area damage here, but earthquake's a very good choice. Helmet, same as always, Strength Fight, Crit Chance with Diamond in the socket. On your chest, you want Strength Fight, Earthquake damage. On your waist, you want the Girdle of Giants. We got lucky here and got the new Ancients, or Primals, if you will. So this rolled pretty well. Unfortunately, it rolled attack speed, which does absolutely nothing for you in LeapQuake, so that kind of sucks. Probably Strength Fight, All Res, and either Life or Life Pure Fury Spent. You want Life Pure Fury Spent on either your weapon or your belt, just to give yourself a little bit of healing. You do kind of need it in this build. But the important thing to note here is you want Max Fury on that secondary. The more Max Fury you can get on your secondary, the less cooldown reduction you need, because the more Fury you're spending with your attacks. And so, as you can see, reduce the 2 set of Pool of Earth, or Might of Earth, is reduce the cooldown of Earthquake, Avalanche, Leap, and Ground Stomp by 1 second for every 30 Fury you spend with an attack. So if you can juice up your maximum Fury, both through Paragon, which we already did, and through getting it on your secondary of your Mighty Belt and your 2-hand Mighty Weapon, you can really reduce the amount of cooldown you need. On the pants, we want Strength Fight, All Res preferably, and obviously 2 sockets for rubies. On boots, you want Strength Fight, All Res, and armor or movement speed. If you want movement speed, you could pump more points and strength in your Paragon, but armor is a good choice as well. On your weapon, you can do a lot of things here too. Like I said before, you want Life Pure Fury Spent to be on either your weapon or your belt, because you do need a little healing. But you definitely want damage roll. That's the thing we know we always want to have. We want strength. And then with the third stat, you can go either Life Pure Fury Spent. We have area damage on this one. You could go life as well instead of area damage and really get a ton of vitality, because it rolls up to, I think, like 1,500. So, you're not really locked to anything, which is nice. The most important thing on this weapon is, you want earthquake damage to be as high as possible. It has 150% to 250 or 200%. This one has 197, so it's pretty good. And then on that secondary, you would really want maximum fury, ideally. Unfortunately, I have life per kill on this weapon. And then on your ring slots, you want focus and restraint. I would actually prefer to have dream rolled cooldown, focus and restraint, just so you never have to worry about maybe not spending enough Fury, or maybe, you know, Warcry and Threatening Shout were both on cooldown for your leap cycle, and we'll get into that in a second. But more cooldown means the less you have to worry if leap's gonna come back automatically, because it doesn't. Those times that you're like sitting there and you've already leaped 3 times and you haven't spent enough Fury, you have a cooldown here of leap and you're like, shit, you're just kind of a sitting duck, especially if there's like mobs surrounding you, which there always is, really. But yeah, I like, you know, Dream Rolled, Focus and Restraint. You could even like do like one with Dream Rolled cooldown and one with area damage. But anyways, you want crit damage, crit chance, cooldown reduction, but you could totally run strength here. Just make sure you get that socket. Necklace, we want Hellfire. This one's not that amazing, but it's got the Brawler passive, which we do want in this particular setup. Like I said, this is for, you know, solo GRs as fast as possible in the low 70 range. So we have Brawler, and then for the other passives, we want Ruthless, Earth and Might's a must, no option there. Nerves of Steel, we don't want to lose our Stacks of Reflection. And then Rampage is amazing on any barb build. And then finally, Bracers. We have a lot of choice here too. So these are Bracers of Destruction, which says Seismic Slam deals up to 400% increased damage to the first 5 enemies it hits. This isn't that good. It is nice for when you're solo, you know, speeding GRs in the low 70 range. Trash dies a lot faster than elites, so this is nice when all the trash is dead and you're just trying to kill the elite. But a good option for here too is to swap that out with Parthen Defenders. Make yourself like insanely tanky. And of course, you could always go back to Skull or Salvation if you want to throw a boulder instead of, you know, Seismic Slam Rumble. I don't recommend that though, because Seismic Slam, I mean, I feel like it was meant to be with LeapQuake. The skill is called Seismic Slam, which, you know, has to do with earthquakes and tremors and all that, you know, geological type stuff. Throwing a boulder doesn't really make sense. As far as your gems, for 70s, I run Stricken because the increased damage against the Guardian's pretty nice. But the mobs die so quick that I'm not sure this is really the best choice, but there's not a lot of other options that are very good. Those skills, obviously we want Earthquake. We're doing a physical type setup here, so we're choosing Cave In. Why Cave In? Obviously Molten Fury does 6,000% weapon damage as Earthquake damage, which is amazing. The best rune overall guaranteed, but Cave In's really nice because it can create that density for you when you get really bad rifts or mobs that like to run away. So it keeps that density nice and tight, so it makes sure everything gets hit by your Rumble, everything gets hit by your Earthquake. It's just really good overall for, you know, like I said, GR 70, 75 speedrunning solo. If you're pushing, you definitely want to swap this out for Molten Fury. It's a better rune for pushing. And of course, we're going to pick Seismic Slam with Rumble, just so we can spend all our Fury and keep leaping away, leap all day. Obviously, leap is a very important part of this build. Death from above. Why Death from above? Because the stun is amazing, especially if you run Parthen Defenders in your Bracer slot. Nice to be able to like jump on ranged enemies from a distance and stun them so they stop like wrecking your face with their spears, or ghosts with their little ghost stream, whatever you want to call that. Threatening Shout with Falter. This casts a nice little juicy Earthquake for you because of Blade of Tribes, and it makes your Fury go up, up, up. One of the big things to note here with LeapQuake is there's like a 3 leap rotation. So you're gonna leap, right? And then falter, and then boom, that's gonna take you to max Fury. You're gonna expend that Fury, you're gonna leap, and then you're gonna put up a War Cry, boom, you're gonna spend all that Fury. You're gonna leap, you have Threatening Shout up again, cool, leap, and then you're gonna have to spend your Earthquake here, which will take you up a little bit, and then expend that too. Of course, when you're hitting mobs, you're gonna get more Fury, but still, very important rotation. Battle Rage Bloodshed here with more, you know, area damage juice. The Bloodshed's a very good rune here. And then Warcry with Impunity, A for the defense, and B because Blade of Tribes makes it cast an Earthquake, which makes it proc the Earth and Might, which gives you more Fury. Great. The cube's no different than what we've always seen. We want Furnace, obviously for more elite damage. Derp. Lutzocks, absolutely have to have. Leap can be cast up to 3 times within 2 seconds before the cooldown begins, so that gives you 3 leaps before the cooldown begins. Absolutely have to have it in the build, no question about it. And finally, Band of Might, after casting Furious Charge, Ground Stomp, or Leap, takes 60% damage reduction. That's really nice. If you're pushing, you're probably going to want to swap this out with something like Convention of Elements. And again, make sure you have Parthens in your Bracer slot. Now, this is going to make you really, really squishy, but I mean, that's barb pushing lately, you know, the past handful of seasons. Even though we're like a melee class, we're probably one of the squishiest classes in the game. But like I said, for GR 70s, 75s, solo speeding, Bantamite I think is the best choice. For gems, just Bane the Powerful, Bane the Trapped, and Esoteric Alteration. You even swap out the Bane the Powerful for Bane the Stricken. Pretty much the same. At the end, of course, we'll leave a clear. Nothing special. It's like a GR 70 clear in 5 minutes, which, say fluff, 5 minutes, that's not that fast compared to like a Wizard, Witch Doctor, Monk, basically any other class but Barb. But for Barb, GR 70 in 5 minutes, pretty respectable, especially with non-Paramount gear. Paragon's not that fantastic. But as always, guys, like, subscribe, come on over to Twitch, ask your questions. That's gonna do it for the guide. Peace out. There's 70, just to show what it can do. Decent map. Spirit throwers though, they can be pretty dangerous. Dead end. What we got? Heal? Yep. Maybe. I think that's about running like 9 in-gown packs. That you don't have to kill all the little trash mobs that run away. You can just focus on the big yellow. Also, thing that's really nice about Cave-In is it can kind of create density for you. Really nice. Make this like just a godly defensive spec. You can swap out Arthans for the Seismic Slam Bracers. Make it really juicy. Think. You guys are not. Back. Jump out of that frozen. Nice thing about Leap is that it can be pretty defensive skill if you use it correctly, if you time things right. I'm jumping out of Molten, Frozen right now. And we don't have to worry about the trash, which is aw, yeah. So many Spirit Throwers. Over here. R. Touch and go. Oh, sewers. The thing that doesn't make sense to me about 2.5 is that they took away a lot of the spawns of like barracks and caves, which is great, but then they took away the Built and Cool area. Doesn't make any sense, because I don't think any Diablo player ever would be like, this is a bad map. Good map. Little rat just flying around. Dead end. Got this trash real quick. Density's pretty terrible. I mean, really. terrible. Spawned him. Let's see if you can time like one, whatever it's called, the war cry, and one like earthquake, one with threatening shout. I mean each like 3 leaps, so you can get your fury to max. You know, there's no downtime on the leap. So 5 minutes. PR 70 for Barb. It sucks compared to other classes, but it's pretty respectable for Barb. And keep in mind too that my gear isn't that great. Don't have full ancients. I don't have despairs on any piece of gear. I'm only Paragon 1100. Nothing too crazy.